Hello and welcome back to New Cycle, a game that still isn't about bikes and is very much about rebuilding civilization in a post-apocalyptic world. And if you missed the previous video, I'll link it above, but the gist is that the world has been hit by a devastating series of solar flares that took out most of the technology in the world. After the flares, war ensued because, of course it would, and humanity was decimated as a result. Fast forward to now, 2073, and you are the president, mayor, or dictator of your own little colony of hardworking people. People that have never experienced the technology of yesteryear and are looking to rediscover it and restart civilization, one building at a time. And in the previous video, we made our way through the first couple of cycles, growing our city to a massive population of 55 as we learned impressive technologies such as how to build simple shacks, how to make mushroom soup, and how to build a tavern. I guess this is just a post-apocalyptic Wisconsin, although we never learned how to brew beer, so that's a bummer. And today, we're going to learn even more impressive skills, such as how to grow vegetable and herb, and how to build open pit mines, and if we're lucky, maybe even how to make clothing, so that our naked, huddled masses won't have to worry about freezing to death in the winter. But before we dive back in, I want to let you know that New Cycle is back because of all of you guys, all of your requests for another video. And if you're happy to see New Cycle again, hit the like button. And if you'd rather we bring back, say, Clearwater County, hit the like button for that too, and maybe we'll do so in a week or so. Or just leave an emoji that reminds you of New Cycle for the sake of engagement. And without any further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome back to the beautiful New Haven. Actually, maybe beautiful is the wrong word. I'm gonna go with shabby chic. It's going to be beautiful at some point. Right now, it's fine. We are going to see what it's going to take for us to reach the next cycle. So I want to take a look at the population first. We've got to get to 90. We currently have 55. So as long as we don't have a death wave, it doesn't seem like it will be that difficult. And we also have to research everything in cycle 3. So that's where I want to begin. Let's take a look at our development tree. And we've got 6 different technologies to research. The first is vocational training, and that's how we get our technical boot camp and paper. So that's how we'll get craftsmen at some point in time. Then we have cultivation. That's where we get vegetable and herb. And we need paper for this one, so we can't research this one yet. And then we have surveillance. This is how we're able to scout out other lands. This one also requires paper, so we can't do this yet. And we have building statics. Now this is one that doesn't require paper, and it's actually going to be really important for us. This is how we get clay, bricks, the kiln, our pit mining. Pit mining is going to be very important because we can have basically an unlimited source of both clay and stone then. Mine surveying, which is how we'll get our mines. We need both bricks and paper for this one, so this is probably last. But the reason this one's so important is we are able to get coal then, and coal can be used for power, which is much more efficient than all the windmills that we have right now. And then finally, weaving. So this is how we are able to get clothing right now. Nobody's wearing clothes, or they're wearing clothes, but they're really tattered. I don't know, but it's not good. This one also requires paper. And though everything requires paper, I think we're going to go for building statics first because this is how we're going to have an unlimited source of stone, and that's going to be really important for us. And this only takes 74 hours to research, so it won't take long at all. Now, one of the things I want to do is just kind of go around and make sure that our gatherers and all of our workers are working as efficiently as they can be. Make sure that we don't have any workers that are inappropriately assigned. Because I see stuff like this where we have a gathering camp where there are 3 workers assigned to gather mushrooms and there are no mushrooms here. And we have no workers gathering meat, even though there's a bit of it here. And there we go. Now we have basically an equilibrium right here. Now, interestingly, as we do that, we have a request for bigger portions. They're basically saying that now that we're a permanent settlement, we should think about giving people more food. And this is actually a policy. So if we put this regulation into effect, the rations will increase by 30%. That'll make people happier. And I think if we decline it, we'll really make people mad. So we're going to accept this, and we're going to make our first goal to increase our food supply, which honestly is probably a good one anyway, if we want to get more people. And that happiness will lead to more children, I believe. So let's go ahead and add another gathering camp so that we can collect more mushrooms and meats. And I guess we got one more over there to investigate, but I want more meat. So I think we're going to place one over here. This will give us both meat and mushroom, although not all that much. Let's get a road over to here as well. And I think I'm just going to follow the existing road. Yeah, we've already started this over here. And then while that's building, I want to investigate this other gathering camp. Would you look at that? We have a whole bunch of workers assigned to fish and meats and none assigned to mushrooms, even though there are a ton over here. And then we're about to deplete our meat, so I'm going to turn that down over here. Now, as we continue to investigate, I also want to look at our field camp. And yeah, we have 3 stone cutters that are going after absolutely 0 stones. So we will take that down as well. That makes me a little bit concerned because I don't know that we have any other place that we are gathering stone. So that might be the first thing that we do with our pit mine. And then we will gather a whole bunch of meat and mushrooms over here as well. And just as we do that, we end up finishing our research for building statics. So now we've unlocked our mines. So let's get one of those going and then we'll do a bit more research. And that's right here underneath resources. So I want to place this in a location where we're not going to expand the city and where there aren't many resources. So I see that there's something right here. Don't want to go there. I think I might go out here. And I think I want 2 of these right away, but I do need to be thoughtful about the power utilization because I think that these things take a lot. Yeah, 290 electricity each. So if we're going to be doing this, we also need to be thinking about adding more windmills. The other thing I noticed is that we are just depleting our iron ingot really fast. So that means that we're probably building too many tools. Yeah, and we got 5 workers over here just demolishing our iron ingot supply. So let's take this down to maybe 2 or 3. Have them slow down just a little bit. And then I'm going to build 1 more of these pit mines. And I'll place those side by side, might as well. It'll be efficient for us because at some point down... Ooh! I think we got more people coming to join us. But at some point down the line, we will be able to add a storage over here for all the resources that we're collecting. Now I see all of these messages that we're getting. We're going to pursue that in a minute, but I want to start slapping some windmills down because we are running low on power. And this is the only type of power that we have available to us right now. So I'm thinking that we could probably place some along the coast because at this point, I care more about wind than anything else. And we're not thinking about environmental preservation when the world is ended. So, and the first one was 5. This one is 4. And I'm going to place... We're going to go for it. We're going to place 4 of these right away. I have a feeling we're going to need a ton. And it looks like this first one was 180. This one was 200. These are really good locations. So I'm guessing we'll get about the same. And hopefully that gives us some overhead. I will admit the one thing I'm a little concerned about is that I don't know if we need a road to make these things work. If we do, we are going to be in a rough spot because I think I just made that impossible. So we'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye on this. In the meantime, I want to greet these strangers so that they come here because that's 4 additional workers and we're going to need them. And then at the same time, we've got 2 other quests. The first one is public health for boding whispers. The community health is deteriorating. So this actually, we need to pay attention to this one because if we have a death wave, we'll never get to 90 people and then we'll never reach the next cycle. I've had that happen. So they want us to achieve regular health and maintain it for 30 days. So that's really taking a look at our food and water supplies that we're giving everybody and making sure that they have enough to have regular health. We might already be there. And sometimes that is kind of one of those nice things. 40 is where we need to be. And we're actually at 50 because we're giving everyone extra food. So I guess we got lucky with this one. So we'll just let that go and we should hit this without even thinking about it. The second one, building a future. They want us to increase our population to 100. And we already have to get to 90. So honestly, what's 10 more? We might as well do it. Our goal is set. This will make them happier anyway if we achieve it. And at that point in time, we're going to need it because things will get really complicated once we get to around 100. And while we're waiting for all of our windmills to build, let's look at our development tree again. And obviously, we've got to go for paper. So we'll go for vocational training. And then we'll just start making some paper, banking that paper. So there we go. 94 hours for this. Time flies in this game. I'm not overly concerned about it, so we should be just fine. And while we're waiting for those to build as well, I'm going to assign some workers over here. Stone for the first one. We get 25 left. So I can't build roads because of that in a moment. And then same thing with our clay. We'll go 5 for that. Gives us 9 overhead on employees. It's not great, but we do have enough power for it now. So that is a good thing. And now I'm noticing that we're starting to max out on some of our production. So I think we need to add another storage before we start to run into issues. And then we'll increase our caps here. So we'll add a stockpile and we'll add that right over here. We might as well. Less distance to cover. And we have another quest, unending preparation. We will be prepared for the worst. That sounds a little bit nerve-wracking. Okay, they want to stockpile stuff. So honestly, it's good that we just built that stockpile. They want 5,000 water, 1,200 simple meal. I don't know why we wouldn't do that. So let's go for it. Now, the one thing to think about, I want to say that when we start producing bricks with our clay, we're going to start using water for that. All of our soup requires water and all of our people drink water. So we are likely going to need more water. And right now we're basically at an equilibrium. As far as our soup goes, we're actually, oh, that's not good. We're actually consuming more than we produce. So part of that is we're trying to maintain our health. Part of that is, ooh, we don't have anything being produced right here. So let's lower this. We'll reduce the number of fish that we're consuming, and we are going to build another soup kitchen or two. And that makes me wonder, this one is set to meet. We actually don't have any soup kitchens that are producing any of our mushroom-based soups. That's a mistake. So we are going to get that rectified. And even over here, we've got 4 workers turning all of those meat into soups. Let's turn that down to 2. And we'll produce some mushroom soup right here. And I think even for this one, we aren't really producing many fish. So I think we will switch gears over here and produce mushroom soup. We'll need to assign workers to our new soup kitchen. There we go. 2 kitchens, both producing a ton of soup. And interestingly, even with that, we are still at just an equilibrium. We're going for it. We're going to go full sail. We'll do one more. And the funny thing is we already have enough simple meals. We just don't want to drop beneath it, but we are way off on water and all the soup is going to make things even worse. So let's go ahead and we'll build at least 1 more well, if not 2 more. And it looks like we could honestly have one right here. And then we'll build 1 more as well. 1 more well as well. Did you see that? Oh, so we actually built our mines right by a whole bunch of water sources. So, in reality, I wouldn't say that it's great to place a well right by a mine, but we're going to go for it because I don't think there's any penalty. So they don't know any better, which means that I don't need to tell them it's bad. Now we have storing knowledge. And they want us to start producing paper, 400 to be exact, which I think is honestly less than we need to produce for some of the things we have to research. So we obviously should accept this one. And the paper is produced at our lumber mills. And I think we only have 1 at this point in time, so we may want to build a second one. But for the time being, let's just switch over. And that's 32 per day. That's honestly not very much. And I know that we're going to have 2 at some point in time anyway, so let's just go for it. Now, thankfully, the lumber mill does not require power, so we shouldn't have to worry all that much about that. So we'll just have to wait for that to build out. In the meantime, let's meet this merchant. And he's offering us a bunch of stuff that we already have in exchange for something super valuable. That said, I wonder if we shouldn't accept some fish because we were out of fish. So let's give that a shot. And we'll go for 100. Ooh, and do you see that? As I offer them too much, they start to negotiate against me. So 25 is where the valuation of all of my tools declines. And it's funny. If that's the case, I don't want to offer that much because they're not doing that to me. So I guess we'll get 88 fish instead. We'll call that a day. And nice doing business with you. Now we've got this other soup kitchen that we haven't done anything with yet. And I think because we have the fish now, we might as well go for it. And we'll just go ham on it. And I just want to make sure, oh, I only got 1 worker assigned over here. We'll go ham on that one too. And now our lumber mill has been completed. So let's set that to paper as well. We've only got 3 employees. I don't want to use them all. I'm going to assign 2. And let me see, over here we got 5. Let's balance these. So we'll go 3 and we'll do 3 over here. And then we'll keep 2 workers overhead. That'll be helpful. We failed our objective to keep the workers' health over 40? I don't know how that happened. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I was confusing morale for health. And if I would have just looked over here, I could have seen that my health is actually -4. I don't know how I would have improved that. So I probably shouldn't have accepted that one. Now everyone's going to be disappointed in me. Well, you could be disappointed. Now you won't be able to eat as much either. So and look at that. We're having a storm and that gives us 25% more efficiency for our windmills, 20 less workforce for our hunters and gatherers, and 200 less for offshore fishermen. We don't have those, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, the nice thing about turning down our rations is we should start banking more water now because we're not using as much for our soups. And you can kind of see that it is going up now. Look at that. We are producing about 140 a day more than we need. So that should start to inch towards that 5,000 that we need, which is wonderful. Now, one thing I am thinking about is maybe the way to boost up our population is to build more homes. So I just want to see how we're looking here. And one opening there, that one's full, inactive. So let's see if we click OK and refurbish this, maybe that will help. And I'm not sure. I'm wondering if this works like Banished, where basically if you have a certain number of homes available, it will attract people to live in your community. So we're going to go for it anyway, even though it's kind of giving us that penalty warning. We're going to go for it anyway because we have the ability to do so. I'm going to add just a couple more of these. And I'm trying to keep these fairly compact so that we don't end up needing another tavern to serve these homes, because that is a core service that people have is, you know, in a post-apocalyptic world, you want to be able to drink. And the funny thing is we don't even have enough stone to build more roads. So hopefully we're going to be okay. Now we did complete this objective for knowledge. So we got our 400 paper, which means that we should be able to continue researching things as well. So let's take a look at what we have available to us. And honestly, out of all of these, the most valuable ones to us are probably weaving so we can clothe people. We need clothing bad. And then maybe cultivation for the herbs and the vegetables, but we already have a lot of food. So I'm going to wait until we can go after weaving. So 850 paper, and then we should be able to do that. And honestly, this is the perfect demonstration of why I think this is so important. We're about to have a bunch of snow. What is this? We have another quest, craft and dedication. So they want us to train individuals with more knowledge and practical experience in certain fields. So they want us to go after craftsmen, which I think it makes some sense. Yep. Begin training craftsmen as soon as we can. And if we accept this policy, we will get craftsmen faster. They will use more tools. They'll be less efficient, but we'll train them faster. So that's helpful. Increased chance of work accidents. Interesting. And if we say no, they will be more efficient, but we'll also have less workforce, which will be a problem for us up front because we won't have many craftsmen trained. The training time is also doubled, as are their resource requirements. It seems like we probably should accept this one. So I think we will. And then they want us to develop a technical boot camp, which we are absolutely going to do after we start our research because we need weaving. It is cold out, and that's going to cost us 850 of our paper. Totally fine. And that'll be researched relatively quickly, 57 hours. Let's go ahead and build our technical boot camp. This is going to cost us 95 electricity, and we already have a deficit. So I guess we're turning this place into Iowa, and we're going to build some more windmills because that's what we do here. I think I'm going to keep this relatively close to our town center, and we'll try to use this as maybe the main hub for these sorts of buildings, and we'll continue to progress some of our workforce type buildings out this way. And it seems like from surveying the map, there's not a lot of value in this area, so maybe this is where the city expands out towards. Although honestly, this could be completely filled in with windmills as well, so we'll have to see. So we're going to need at least one more of these if we have a lot of power, and potentially even more. Now, one thing that we never tested with these other windmills is if they work, if they're not connected to a road. So I'm just going to speed these two along just to see. These are not connected to a road. I want to see if they will transmit power through each other. They do. So the road is there for my own personal benefit if I feel like it's a good thing, which I kind of do. I probably shouldn't, but I kind of do. It just feels more organized to me now for some reason. And we've completed our objective, which means that our training center is completed, which means that we should probably try to train up a couple of people to become craftsmen. But we've only got 2 extra workers available right now. And just like that, we've unlocked our tailor, which is going to be another reason that we need some of those craftsmen. So I'm going to try to convert one person into a craftsman. 200 paper for that. So that's competing with our research, and 5 basic tools. That's not a big deal. We'll go for that. And then we've got to try to find more workers. Like right here, we have 4 workers trying to produce some soups when we don't have enough resources for that soup anyway. So you can produce mushroom soup. And now we've gained 3 workers. And then I'm going to scour at this point and see if there are any locations where we can pull back a bit. And interestingly, we've got 3 woodcutters over here and we're about to run out of wood. So there's not very much of the resource available. We've got like 10 days of overhead. I'm going to take this down and I'm going to add a new woodcutter. So we'll need another field camp. And interestingly, it seems like just a little bit over and we'd be fine. I'm wondering if we could get this. Oh, so that one is right there. So I'm just going to build this right over here, really close to the other one. And then we'll get rid of all the woodcutters right here. And then the other thing is we've got all these gathering camps. We should just make sure that they're still doing something. Like right here, they're not gathering any mushrooms, but that's because it's winter. But the fish is more concerning, as is the hunter. So let's get rid of those, let those regenerate. And for the mushrooms, I'm going to probably leave that one behind. That will come back. But we've got to wait until we get to a warmer season for that. And there we go. And look at all that wood, 1,293. We will take advantage. And our training results are in, and we've got 1 craftsman. Thank goodness. So the craftsman matters because we can't build a tailor without a craftsman. And we've got to get everyone some clothing. So we're going to do that right away. And again, we're going to put that by the rest of our workers. We'll put that right over here, right by all the homes. You wouldn't have to walk very far. I like that. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is we are currently maxed out on our clay production. So we need a kiln. So let's grab the kiln, and I think we're going to place that right over here. I mean, it's right by this, so you wouldn't have to walk very far from the storage pile to the kiln. Now, the kiln requires 145 electricity, so just like everything, we're going to build another windmill. Hopefully, we get coal in the next one, because that's going to be a much more efficient way for us to produce power, even if it's polluting, which is a real technical term right there. All that said, it's the post-apocalyptic world. At this point, we just want to get by. And I think while we're over here, let's build a couple more of these. They do take some lumber and some iron. And the lumber is what we have to worry about because we haven't been producing lumber in a minute, but it should be fine. So adding those 4 has taken our lumber down to 63. So I do think that we should probably switch one of these over to paper, or from paper to lumber rather. And then I want to look at one of our storages because we are maxing out on our soup production, which I don't love. And even our clay right here, we've maxed out. So I'm going to take this to 1,000. And we've got a whole bunch of overhead, so we should be completely fine there. I'll do the exact same thing with leather because we will start turning these into clothing soon. And then for simple meal, why not take this all the way up to maybe 5,000? And then for our water, we're currently going to max out at 5,000, which is what our goal is right now. So let's go all the way to 10,000 there. And I think that those are much more reasonable thresholds, so that should be really helpful. As much as I want to get the kiln working, I'm really interested in this. Oh, I have to get the kiln working because that requires bricks. So it's good that we built this. And this is going to require at least 1 worker. I want lots of bricks. So let's assign 3, and then it's just the waiting game. Now, I see a notification up here, and I want to see what this is. Refreshment plus 40% morale to all classes. So I'm hoping that that helps us. Oh, yeah, sure enough. 7 children were born this year. So eventually they will become adults and we'll get 7 more people. So with that in mind, let's pop back into our development tree and begin some more research. And at this point, I don't know that any of them are better than the others. Maybe mining, but we need bricks for that. So let's go for cultivation. And we've got plenty of paper, plenty of tools, just a little bit of time. And this will help us get vegetable, which is a more sustainable source of food, and herbs, which can be used to restore health. In the meantime, I'm noticing that this building has a no road access icon, so let's get that fixed. And yeah, I ran out of materials, so I couldn't finish the roads over here before. And then we'll speed things along a little bit, and hopefully we are about, yes, we are producing bricks. We almost have enough for our tailor. And we've basically instantly completed our research for the kale yard, vegetable, and herb. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. While I was waiting for the tailor, we've got a major fire. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh my goodness. Full response. Although, what about this one? Full response. Go after it. Put these out. What is this? So this is our smith. That's really important. That's where we're getting all of our tools from. And we've got one of our soup kitchens. So that's not good. And oh no, we're just, that's all of our water. That's all of our water. We need that. Dang it. We are going backwards really fast towards meeting our goal of 5,000. Oh, that was painful. That was, oh my goodness. 1,500 water. Did we at least salvage the building? We didn't. We lost a worker and we lost our building. Serenity now. Did we at least save this one? Okay, well, this one is good. We didn't lose any workers. So I guess you take the wins with the losses. We'll clear this one. And I don't even know if we need the soup kitchen at this point. We'll just speed things up here. And then this one is mushrooms. We've got 1 worker assigned. We'll assign 4. And then here we've already got 4 assigned. And now we can do some clothing. So we've got that going for us too. Oh, and we actually need to watch out because we need some workers for our smith. So that is all of our workers except for 1, which feels great. Now, what is this? Ongoing fire. So we've lost efficiency for 6 days. And thankfully, we're at least making a whole bunch of water again. So it's just kind of the waiting game. We do have our first garment available. So thankfully, we have clothing. Things are looking up even if we had a minor setback. Now, I do want to see if we can research something again since we finished cultivation. And we don't have enough for mining yet, but we will soon. In the meantime, let's go after surveillance. We can build that Scouts Guild and potentially start to look at lands outside of our own. The benefit there is we could potentially gather resources from other lands and bring them back here with escalators and things of that nature down the line. So we will begin researching that. And honestly, we don't have any workers for this, but part of me wants to start thinking about building a couple of kale farms. I think we're going to go for it. If anything, we're just reserving the land. The one thing that stinks is if you build something and don't use it right away, you end up in a position where they will be less effective for 5 days. But honestly, time flies in this game. And I don't mean that just for me personally, which it does. I also mean that the time in the game can move really fast. So there's not really, 5 days isn't really much of a penalty. And there we go. We've got both of those side by side. Should be just fine. And we've finished our research for the Scouts Guild. So we will, whoa, did you guys see that? We just got a whole bunch of children that became adults, 5 more workers. So 12 children were just born this year. So things are looking up. We had a setback. We had 1 person die, but now we've got a bunch more. So let's build our Scouts Guild because we've got the overhead for that. And we've even got, oh, no road access. So we're going to produce some kale here. We'll assign 1 worker to this, or some vegetables rather, not kale. I guess you could consider it kale. Consider it whatever you want. And then we will add a road to this one. And we'll do herb over here. 1 person assigned to that. And this will give us some. Not a lot, but some. And now the things that it's displaying up here aren't super helpful to me at this point in time. So I'm going to change, like, for instance, clay. If I right mouse click this, I think I can swap it out for brick. That is more useful to me at this point. So we will do that. And then I do want to build that Scouts Guild. Now let's see where the best place for this is. I don't think it really matters. So, we got settlers. Things are looking up. I think I just want this to be in a cool location. It seems like, I know that this isn't how it works, but it feels like this could be a cool lookout to look over into the water. So we're going to place it there, even though I know that people are actually going to leave this place. And then while that's building, let's see how many strangers have arrived. 6 new residents. I will take it. We need you. So welcome to our community. Hopefully we can start building some mines soon and we will immediately send you there. Oh no! Are you kidding me? Oh. So the smith has once again had a catastrophe, but this time 2 workers died in it. I'm starting to feel like this place is cursed. So we've got to rebuild this right away because otherwise we will run out of tools eventually. Oh, and interestingly, so now we need to pay attention to these because some of these old first built buildings can do multiple things. The smith can eventually produce wire. So that is going to be really important for us to recognize in the future. So we'll take something positive out of this negative situation too, setting us further back from reaching our goal of 100 citizens. And here we are once again with our smith. Let's assign more workers. We'll get some more tools going. producing 10 per day. And I think people are sad because of the lightning strike. I get it. I'm sad too. But we're not going to dwell on it. We're going to start building more stuff. But only after taking a look at our Scouts Guild. We'll create a couple of Scouts teams, send them out into the world. So she'll lead team 1 and he will lead team 2. So let's send them out into the world. We will go to the world map. We've got 2 places that we can explore right now. So this is the valley. It'll take 7 days to trek out there. We'll go take a look. And then we've got over here, the highlands, 8 days to get out there. Let's go for it. Now, the interesting thing is this doesn't take any people. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't always have someone scouting outside of it, just another thing to keep track of. So we will need to keep an eye on that. So all we really have to do is just keep waiting while we keep things chugging along, and hopefully we should naturally reach our progression milestone. And now we should have enough paper and brick to research mining. So let's go for it. That's our final tech within cycle 3. And this one takes a little bit longer, but this is going to be super valuable. So let's go for it. Ooh, look at this. We've got a message from Scout Team 1. They've arrived at the valley. It looks empty and untouched, except for the ruins of buildings from long ago. But there's logs, meat, and water there. That's not super useful, but I guess whatever is useful should be sought out. And we've also finished our objective for having a ton of water. So that is also a very good thing. So we've got 5,000 water stockpiled, 1,200 simple meal, which is actually almost 5,000 at this point. So we are well prepared for bad days. But the nice thing about that is it gives us a morale boost, which hopefully gives us more children. And now we've got a message from Scouts Team 2. They're at the highlands. Vast plains of grass and rocky ground lead to steep slopes rising into the sky, logs, iron ore, meat, and water. That sounds more valuable than what we had at the last place. At least with the iron ore. So, all right, very good. And now we should probably assign both of those groups to another location. Whoa, we've got a lot more stuff to explore. So we'll go to province with Scouts Team 1, and for Scouts Team 2, same thing. 4 days to get there, 2 days for the first. Good enough for me. Now I see that we're capping out on our simple meals, and that might be okay because soon we should be able to produce more complex meals, but at the same time, I'm not super excited to see us stop producing anything. That means that the workers are kind of just idling there. So let's boost this up to 10,000. The other option is that we could make our workers happier by increasing their distribution of food. But we don't really have all that much overhead, so we won't worry about that. Clothing is probably the one that we could do. So we'll give them a regular allotment of clothing, and then I don't know that we've looked at our craftsmen. Oh, we've got a couple of craftsmen. They're really valuable, and we're not giving them enough food or water. They're being forced to take in less than everyone else. The one person, they're sickly. So that means that they're not producing as many clothes as they can be because we can identify who that one person is. It's the tailor. And there we go. That is our final tech in cycle 3 completed. So that is good to see. We can look at mining. But first, I want to take a look at our message from Scouts Team 1. Nothing is here. Okay, so that makes the last ones look a lot better because at least they found something. Let's send them somewhere else. And I wonder if there's any advantage to making them go further. Like, if they walk past this place, will they scout it out, or am I just wasting time? We're going to find out. The only way that you learn is to give things a shot. So we'll do so. And in the meantime, it's time to start building our first mines. So this is going to require 300 electricity, and it's glowing right where I thought it might at the base of these mountains. I think you can see there's some deposits. I don't know what those are, but I think we'll go for these ones first. And actually, we could go over here. Well, we'll go right here. This feels like a good spot. Got access to 3 different resources, and I'm not sure how we're going to figure out what those are. But for now, let's build a road out here. And would you look at that? All of those children became adults. We now have 85 adults. That is huge. And we've also got a new quest. So I'm going to take this back for a second. Let's take a look at the quest. Mining 101. Let's get the pickaxes ready. We're already building a mine, so we should absolutely do this. And yeah, they want us to build a basic mine. Did we already build it? Is it not? It's not done yet. So we should meet that one. That'll be the fastest quest that we've ever completed. And then Scouts Team 2 has arrived at their destination. The texture of the slopes indicates the presence of coal in the region. By building a mining facility, we could access these deposits. Oh, and from that region menu, we can actually start to construct those facilities, assuming we have them. So let's see if we were to do that. And sure enough, eventually we should be able to set production here. We don't have the ability to do it yet, but that's a future thing. I'm going to send Scouts Team 2 way over here into the mountains, 7 days. Totally fine. Head there. And in the meantime, we've got to get some more power going because we are running low. We're negative 170. So at least 2 more windmills. Although we might need even more because I think we've already used up all of our best locations. But let's go for it. And yeah, it's unfortunate. That's only 3 right there. So we'll probably need at least 2. Although this was a 5 spot. So we'll add that right there. Between the 3 of those, we should have enough power. That should be just fine. And we did complete our Mining 101 objective, which will be helpful as well. Now that we have our mine, we should head over there and try to start mining. Although we don't have the power just yet. We don't know what these resources are. And if we click on them, we can figure it out. But we need more stone to do that. Now that makes me wonder. Over by our open pit mine, do we only have 5 employees working the mines? We do. So let's increase this to 10. And we may even want to convert this one for the time being to rebuild our stone supply to stone. And we're just going to crank that. I can't forget this because I know that I will. That'll be a problem if I do. So we'll try not to do that. And then the other thing I noticed is did we kill our one tailor? They were sickly and I think we killed them. So we better train some more. We've got a ton of workers now. So let's just go for it. We'll have more overhead. Let's train 4. Not enough paper. We'll train 3. We've got plenty of paper for that. And our results are in. We got, out of all 3 of those, all that wasted paper, we got 1 stinking craftsman. That is terrible. Well, thankfully we've got enough paper to do 1 more, but that was expensive. But at least we can get a craftsman helping us make clothing again, because the last thing we want to do in the middle of winter is run out of clothes. And we have enough right now, but still, I like to be prepared. Got to plan ahead, you know? Okay, back to the mines, and we should have enough resources to begin to explore. And we now have electricity. So let's see what we have here. So we'll analyze the deposit. Wow, 79,000 coal. That's going to be huge when we need power. So we can burn coal for power, and it's the end of the world, so we might as well. And now let's look at another one of these deposits. And while that's under analysis, let's look at the rest of these because we got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. The Sound of Stability, our next quest. We have rapidly evolved from a small camp into a proper village. They want us to maintain people's well-being and raise their morale. Okay, I can be on board with that. I think we have enough resources to do that. They want to be above 70, and we're at 91, so we're fine there. That's a gimme. And even for the craftsman, we're good there too. So that's a good one. I'm glad we accepted that one. Mutualism. So she's saying that animals were really close friends with our ancestors and we abandoned them when the world ended, but now they want pets, which I guess it increases their morale. Pest infestation chances reduced. That sounds good, but the rations needed per capita increased by 20%. Now we banked a whole bunch of food, and this is exactly why we did it. We have farms. We haven't taken advantage of that completely yet. So yes, we haven't had any infestations yet, but I don't want any either. So we're going to go for it. And then our training results are in, and we got 1 craftsman. So that is helpful. And we'll try to train 1 more with the paper that we have. Just burn it as soon as we get it. And then look at that. We've reached the new cycle. So we are in cycle 4. I want to see though, if we can get to our population of 100. And in the meantime, let's take a look at our scouts report. It seems like it's another area that we could have a city in. So that's neat, but not super necessary right now. So for the next cycle, we will get a whole bunch of great stuff. Farms, nicer residences, storehouses, guardhouses, smelter, maintenance building, water pump. So basically a lot of the things that we have right now, but taken to the next level. So really excited to see what that's all about. But for now, I want to get back to our mines and we'll take a look and see what else we have researched or found, not researched, but what else we've discovered over here with our deposits. iron ore and a whole bunch of it. So that's great as well. And then we had one more over here. Where was it? Right here. And we'll analyze this deposit as well. And this one's copper ore, 78,000 copper ore, which is awesome. And we've got a whole bunch more quests, but this is the one I'm interested in. A guest requests for a meeting. What does the guest want? Hi, Chief, I'm Carla. So they have 20 villagers and a well that's run dry, and they want to find some help. So I'm going to say, yeah, doesn't seem bad to let them hang out here for a little bit. Well, they want to join us. They want that these 20 people want to join us. So that will get us to our 100. But this will cost us. She wants 90 simple meals, 240 water, and 35 basic tool. Yeah, Carla, we can help you. We've got plenty. And this should immediately fill up. And boom, Carla is happy. They will be here in 15 to 20 days. So we'll need to make sure we've got enough homes for them. And I think we've got plenty of overhead there. Now let's take a look at this. Yeah, we've lost 20 efficiency for 5 days. I think we're going to go for coal here because we should be able to get power at some point soon. And we've got plenty of workforce. So we'll just start banking it at this point. This is going to be for power. The coal power plant, I know this for a fact, it produces a ton of energy. So we absolutely want this. And so we're going to mine 34 per day. And if we add one of these, it goes up to 50. That is massive. So 15 for every single one of these craftsmen. Wow. That is a huge difference. And this is only 7 for just normal workers. So we'll keep some there because we've got a whole bunch of overhead, but that's a good deal for us. And I think that gave us a hint about our training results. We're good there as well. And now, interestingly, we haven't reached this morale objective, so I want to take a look at this just to see if we are short somewhere. We are. Our craftsmen are not happy. So let's make them super happy. Maybe if we give you all the food and all the water, you will be happy. Your workers, the regular ones, they're unhappy too. So this must be from some of the policies that we've enacted. So we'll give them a ton of extra water. That's an extra 6 right there. Extra food, that's an extra 10. And then they need a little bit more. We'll just max everything out. We can always take it down. And then let's see what our second scouts team has for us. Whoa, a little bit of everything. So this uncharted territory, this mountain, this was the place to be. That's amazing. Fertile, abundant, but challenging. That is awesome. We got tin, coal, iron, meat, everything. So let's go back to our world map, and I want to send them somewhere really far away because bluntly, they're exploring very, very quickly. So we'll go over to here, and for Scouts Team 1, we'll do the exact same thing. Send them a ways away. And it looks like the places that we passed, we did not explore, so that's good to know. And we did end up meeting our objective for the morale, so we can take that down now. And there, everything is back to normal, so we shouldn't run out of things now. But we are going to make people much happier for 5 days. Now, the one thing I am curious about, the order of daily life, they want a day off per week. So that'll increase our knowledge gain, which will be helpful in the future, increase our morale, and decrease our workforce. I think it's worth it. We're about to get 20 people. We're going for it. And if we were to say no to this, people will not be happy. So we'll decrease our morale. We've got to do it. I mean, 1 day off per every 9 days, that's kind of brutal. And would you look at this? We got a group of travelers heading our way, and it looks like a pretty decent group of travelers. And let's see, 7 travelers are looking to join us. I think we've got plenty of food. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're producing double the amount of food that we need. Water, we are fine. We probably want to start thinking about that, but we can accept these 7. No problem. Now we have 95 people. We're getting so close. And we've got a vital suggestion. So we need more people to sustain what we've built. We can't keep relying on stray travelers finding us. I agree. So we want to systematize our growth. And we basically want to tell people about how great we are. So we'll send them with some of our best products and get people to come and move here. I like that. We'll spread our message of hope and recruit some other people to come. I love that. I love that. We want to grow. And we found another banging territory. So this one has everything from iron to tin, copper, coal, water, logs, iron again, meat. Awesome. So why don't we send them out even further? 9 days to get over to the tundra. And over here, they've arrived at their settlement and more resources. So that is really good. Now we can send them out even further too. We will do that out to the wasteland. 10 days to get out there. And oh my goodness, there is whoa, what is this? It is a crazy storm. -35 workforce. Maintenance cost on buildings increased by 18%. And a merchant decides to arrive to tell us about all the wares that he has. Sure. And you have the exact same stuff that I don't need any of that. Go away. And truthfully, it doesn't really seem like the sandstorm did much to us, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I do notice that we are 1 away from meeting our threshold to 100, although up here it's, I'm not adding them together. We are 1 away from having enough people to reach our milestone, to reach our goal of 100. And it looks like we have reached our objective of waiting for the newcomers, so that should add 20 to our population. 11 workers, 2 craftsmen, 5 children. So there we go. We are over 100 population and we are building a future. We've reached this goal as well. 131 out of 100. And honestly, this seems like a very, very good place to leave things off because we've got a lot of things to research, a lot of things to build, and a lot of things to do. And I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you're enjoying this series. If you are, please consider hitting the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. And let me know down in the comments if you want to see another one of these. Once again, this series made its return because of your feedback. And it'll make its return again if you guys want to see it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the YouTube supporters, Twitch members, patrons, and for anyone else that's viewing this video. I really appreciate that you've taken a little bit of your time out to hang out with me. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.